Good morning, students. So I hope all of you have understood my last class. So in this class we will try to understand the ways of obtaining food. The ways of obtaining food of the early human being, right? In my last class we have seen that how the early human being have evolved, like how they have migrated from Africa to other places of the world, like maybe Europe, maybe Asia, and then now we will start to discuss about how they used to survive. They used to have food, definitely, right? So there are different processes through which they have discussed or they have gathered food or obtained food. Now, the portion which we are talking about today, that is the obtaining food, there is no definite answers to it. The historians, they have tried to understand the ways of obtaining food through different fossils, different ways, different observations. Like I told you that history is not always very clean and clear. You don't have answer like when you can check it and say the correct answer. It's always a total confusions and mystery is going on. That's why I always say history with a lot of mystery. So here again the mystery works for the obtaining food. The historians, they have said that there are four ways. There are four ways how maybe the early human beings used to obtain food. What are those? Number one, that is gathering. Number two, that is hunting. Number three, that is scavenging. 1 minute. Scavenging, and lastly it is fishing. So we will go one by one, okay? So gathering means a group of people called hunters and gatherers, right? From your early classes you have known this word gathering. Gathering means gathering foods like maybe fruits, different leaves, flowers, honey, mushroom, and lots of things which they could gather. But for the point of gathering, the historians, they doesn't have any proper hard and fast proof, because the people who used to gather are not present today. I was not there, you were not there, right? So who will tell whether they used to gather or not? Whether they used to gather fruits or honey, we don't know. But we assume it. We think that maybe they have done, because today some of the forest dwellers, some of the forest groups, they follow the practice of gathering, right? Okay, hunting. Hunting is very easy. Yes, they used to kill animals and they used to eat the flesh and meat of those animals, right? But in recent researches, it has been proved that human beings have not started hunting before 5 lakh years ago, because there was no tools. Without a tool, without a proper spear, without a proper bow and arrow, you cannot kill big animals. Because see, except human beings, all other animals, they have their preventive measures. They have their claws, they have their teeth, they have their power, even they have their horns. But we don't have anything. We have only our brain, and with the brain we cannot kill. So we need weapons, and weapons are made of tools. Tools are made of stones, which came later. So hunting was not possible in the early stage. In the later stage, hunting was possible. So what was possible? It was scavenging. What is scavenging? Scavenging means searching for food. How they used to search for food? The early human being, they used to search for food when with a dead animal or maybe any other predator like a tiger or a lion. They have killed a big animal and have eaten half of it. Then the early human beings used to go and take those meat which was left. So that is known as scavenging. And fishing was very easy. Fishing was much easier than hunting. So fishing continued from early stage and it continued for a long time in our history. Right? So this is how the early human beings used to obtain food. Now I will discuss today very shortly that how this early human being used to live. Where do they live? How do they live? And what was their homes like? It's very easy to understand that the early human beings, when they used to live on the trees were their only home. But slowly, when they understood that tree is not always a very safe place, you can fall down, then they started searching about caves and open air spaces where it is easy to live. And if they live with a group, then it is easier to survive. And when the historians have found the caves where the early human beings were living, there they found the evidence of fire. From the 4 lakh years ago, from 1,25,000 years ago, the first use of controlled fire has been seen. Controlled fire means the historians have found hearth. What is that? Hearth means is a round place surrounded by stones maybe, where the fire was there. And now the fire has stopped, only the ashes are there. All of you have seen this type of hearth when you have gone to the picnic spots. In the picnic spots, we can see the previous picnic parties have cooked and left a hole in the ground where the ashes are there, right? Which tells us that there was a use of fire that is known as hearth. So hearth was used 4 lakh to 1,25,000 years ago. So in this manner it was done. And people, they used fire for several purposes. What type of purpose? They used fire for definitely cooking. They used fire for scaring other people, say scaring other animals, and to get warmth. All these were used through the fire. Okay, so I'll stop here today, and in my next class I'll talk about the tools, tool making, and the modes of communication, these two, and then we will be able to complete our first chapter. Thank you.